Okay? And he's reflective, he's a reflection of the Puerto Rican experience in New York City. As David so beautifully said, we grew up with our African American brothers and sisters in the same neighborhoods, along with our Jewish brothers and sisters, because they were the only ones that would rent to us at that time, period. So this great synergy was happening. Tito Puente was a child of the jazz age. His heroes were jazz musicians. His hero was Gene Krupa. When you see Tito doing the things that he used to do, putting, twirling the sticks around his head, things like, he was a product of show business at the time. He was trained in acrobatic tap dancing as well as ballroom dancing. He was a child prodigy. He studied for 8 years piano with the great Victoria Hernandez, Rafael Hernandez's sister. Rafael Hernandez, Puerto Rico's greatest composer, Latin America's most beloved composer. And he studied with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Williams. That's all he remembered, as he told me. He was African American. He was a show drummer, a jazz drummer, and he was trained as a jazz musician from early on. So he's listening to what became the music of its day, big band jazz, the popular music of its day, on the radio, but also listening to his native Puerto Rican and, of course, Cuban music, because we have this strange relationship. It's not so strange with our Cuban brothers and sisters. People ask me, what's a New Yorican? I say, oh, it's a person like myself, born and raised in New York City, or comes here from Puerto Rico, the island, at a very early age, and is raised here. And we grew up listening to all forms of African-American music, funk, jazz, R&B, soul, et cetera, and we have a Jewish sense of humor. That's
Born and raised in Harlem, NY, Ernest Anthony Puente Jr. was trained on piano for 8 years by Victoria Hernandez, sister of the legendary Puerto Rican composer Rafael Hernandez, who had been a member of the U.S. Army 369th Regiment Harlem Hellfighters Band in the First World War. Young Ernie studied jazz drumming with an African-American show drummer that he could only remember as Mr. Williams, while also learning acrobatic tap and ballroom dancing with his sister Annie. Applying his jazz training to timbales, the metal drums of Cuban origin, played with sticks, Puente crossed a Rubicon that brought the instrument into the forefront, redefining it as a solo instrument in much the way that Gene Krupa had redefined the drum set. Puente's sense of biculturalism was not limited to being bilingual but also due to an identification with African American music and jazz. As he told Loza, "Well, I was very much into the black people. We used to call them colored people in those days, you know. I was involved with jazz. I went to black schools. They were right there in the neighborhood. I never had any conflict with them, and music-wise, they were my heroes. Some of them were my mentors, like Ellington and Basie at the time, and Lucky Millinder, and Chick Webb. All those bands. I was a young fellow, so I used to listen to a lot of the jazz music in those days, and all Latin music. We got that in the neighborhood because it wasn't as exposed as the jazz music was. So I'm very happy I got brought up with both cultures, and we really got along and developed all our music together through all these years."
York, half
Tito Puente also appeared on Sesame Street and played with sticks too. Tito Puente actually started out on the Black American drum kit and then picked up the Timbales later. No, seriously, I'm not making this up.
How do you hold it? I don't want to hold it, but you seem to hold it very lightly. It's almost.
Yes, I do.
What's the key to the way you hold the sticks? Say it again. Hold the sticks.
Well, the main thing is use your wrist more. Not as it goes on. Well, I studied drums for many years, and then I went over to Timbales.
Say it again.
I studied drums for many years, and then I went over to Timbales, so I have more or less the American.
Who's the best drummer you ever heard?
Well, when I was very young, about 14, I went to a contest, and I did Sing, 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 Gene Cooper's Sing, 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 and I won first prize, and it was, I think, $10.
Tito Puente loved playing the Black American drum kit and wanted to be like Gene Cooper. Gene Krupa took after the Black American drumming greats Alfred Tubby Hall, Warren Baby Dodds, and Zeddy Singleton. Zeddy is shown rocking the cowbell, with block and cymbals, which were standard equipment with the Black American drum kit from its inception. At its inception, the timbale, which is derived from the Italian timpani or kettle drum, had no accompaniment, no cowbell, no wood block, and no cymbals. They are basically higher-pitched tom-tom drums. The Black American
gets to Chicago in 1926, and the beat starts changing. The development of this instrument, the drum set, the only instrument born in the United States, invented by our African-American brothers and sisters in New Orleans, Louisiana. Yes, it's the only instrument. All the other instruments that we use today come from different parts of the world. For example, even the banjo is from Africa. Yes, from Africa. But this instrument, the drum set, represents basically we as Americans. Why? Because all of the parts come from different parts of the world. The bass drum, etc., from Europe and Africa. The snare drum has ties to Europe, obviously, but there are snare drums or drums with wires underneath, like here, in Africa as well. The cowbells from Africa, the cymbals from Turkey and China, the tom-toms originally from China, but all coming together in a multicultural melting-pot in New Orleans, Louisiana, born from the African-American experience in New Orleans. So now one person can do the job of 2 or 3 people at the same time, even 4 people. Okay, and that causes
drummers don't just have one instrument. We have an orchestra at our disposal. We play with our hands. We have instruments we play with our feet.
Tum, 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 bass drum, bugga, boom, boom.
Yes. Our primary job, of course, is to keep time. But there is so much more that we can do with this wonderful collection of instruments to make music.
I think when I came to it, I saw it as, right, these are all the separate instruments. But I think the longer I've been playing the drums, you think of it all as one instrument, and it's just one idea that you're expressing throughout the whole kit.
I play orchestration, like creating space and creating movement, rather like decorating a chandelier.
Dun, 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 dun.
phrasing and the music are the most important thing.
If you could come up with a drum hook, as important, I think, as the melodic hook.
It's about trying to play the instrument with other people.